Obviously, there is a large contingent of fervent, passionate WNBA fans that are not new to this whatsoever. But I'm looking forward to the first WNBA playoffs when the rest of the sports world has finally caught up. High-profile national TV coverage, dramatic storylines, podcast hand-wringing. It should all be there this time around.
And it's about time. CDL.
The semi-final showdown between the Liberty and the Aces. This year's clash of the super teams and rematch of last year's WNBA finals will come one stage earlier than expected after Las Vegas slipped to the 4th seed following an up-and-down regular season. But count out Aya Wilson and the two-time defending champions at your peril. BAG'd at this point, thanks to the absolutely unhinged behavior of the Phoenix Mercury's social media team, seeing 42-year-old Diana Taurasi take part in what appears to be her final postseason. SK. Minnesota, playing spoiler. The Lynx went a blistering 13-1 after the Olympic break, the league's hottest streak by far. That includes a 9-point win over top seed New York just a few weeks ago. While Minnesota aren't what they were at their peak when Maya Moore, Simone Augustus, and crew were dominating the league, the 2024 team have become a formidable force in their own right with all-stars Nafisa Collier and Kayla McBride. Caitlin Clark is primed to play spoiler. She's a downright revelation who came into the league with an astronomical amount of hype that she has somehow managed to rise to, and then some. She had a rough start to the year, understandable with so little time between the NCAA tournament and WNBA training camp. But she's hit her stride, and while the lower seed Fever are underdogs against the formidable Sun, they're prime candidates to crash the second-round party. CDL, to be honest, when the Fever stumbled to a 1-8 start with an exhausted Clark doling out turnovers like Halloween candy, it was hard to imagine the sort of turnaround that came to pass. But they've been one of the WNBA's hottest teams since the Olympic break behind their rejuvenated rookie star, finishing with more wins, 20, than Indiana's past 2 seasons combined, 18.
Bag.
So fun. I unapologetically stan. It has been incredible to see the sport's astronomical growth, and it's impossible to deny that Clark is a major part of the reason why. She is a generational talent like Leslie, Swoops, Bird, Taurasi, Parker, Moore, and Wilson. She's amazing. SK. The Tim Tebow of women's hoops. Everyone has an opinion and will express it whether they watch the game or not. No doubt, she has the once hapless Fever well positioned for a deep run. It's just, I'm not really trying to hear all the complaining if she doesn't win it all in year one. Speaking of the Connecticut Sun, they're my pick for most vulnerable high seed. They're playoff battle-tested and a well-oiled machine with an impressive defense. In theory, they should be able to handle a young and playoff green Fever. But I know better than to bet against Caitlin Clark when the stakes are highest. CDL, this time last year the Las Vegas Aces were looking like one of the best teams we've ever seen in men's or women's basketball, at least since the KD Warriors. But since then, their defensive efficiency has slipped back into the pack while once manageable depth issues have cost them. Their biggest problem? Sending 6 players to the Olympics, including the core 4 of Wilson, Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young, and Kelsey Plum, creating a fatigue factor that threatens to doom their three-peat bid.
Bag.
I don't see how it could be possible, but the Aces. I mean, this is Wilson's world that we are all just living in, and they are by far my favorite team to watch. But the Sun and Lynx are not playing around, and it's hard to imagine a scenario in which the Liberty fumble this opportunity. SK. The Connecticut Sun, who have the misfortune of opening their playoff campaign against the resurgent Fever. Among other things, they're not going to get away with guarding Clark as aggressively as they did to start the season. For one thing, she's adjusted. For another, she's the franchise. Collier and co have been white hot since the Olympic break, winning 13 of 14 games before resting their stars in Thursday's regular season finale, behind a suffocating team defense that has largely overshadowed their stylish, democratic play on the offensive end. Drawn on the opposite side of the bracket as New York and Las Vegas, they'll have as manageable a road they could dream of for a record 5th WNBA title. Bag. New York Liberty. Full stop. After last year's near miss, this postseason is theirs to lose. After getting past the Aces, it will come down to a best-of-5 against the Lynx, where Stewie, Jonquil, Sabrina, and Co. will deliver NYC their first basketball championship in more than 5 decades. SK. Minnesota Lynx. The Lynx are booming, balanced, and coached by the game's all-time greats in Reeve, who's already led USA basketball to gold this summer. When she's on a roll, I don't bet against